Hi everyone, today we are exploring multimodal literacy, which is how students make meaning when images, words, design, gesture, and sound work together. These historical images of Melbourne remind us that public texts have long surrounded us. Traditionally, they were just mostly static, like posters and photos that you looked at rather than interacted with. But in today's time, our students navigate animated billboards, digital feeds, and rolling ads, where text, image, motion, and audio are choreographed to influence attention and feeling. This is why literacy teaching needs to be multimodal. Students need language to name what these texts do, not just what they say. Serafini notes that students encounter visual images alongside written languages and design elements, and they must expand their repertoire to make sense of complex multimodal ensembles. This also aligns with Halliday's systematic functional view of language as social meaning across modes and with Vygotsky's idea that meaning is co constructed with peers, teachers, and families. It also connects with Moji's multiliteracy, where learners move through home, school, community, and digital third spaces. In short, we teach strategies that help students decode, discuss, and critique multimodal texts. So, for critical literacy, expanding the repertoire means moving beyond decoding to a text critic stance. Texts are not neutral. We ask whose perspective is privileged and how visual and words position the viewer. We make explicit the historical, social, and political influences behind a message so students learn to read with evidence and healthy skepticism rather than automatic agreement. So the activity would be that we first watch Let's Talk About Racism from the Australian Human Rights Commission. Next, in pair, students note how image, narration, and layout build the message. Then they share quick findings using the five design elements, which are linguistic, visual, and spatial, gestural, and audio. So, why an advertisement public service ad? Advertisement are authentic, multimodal text that learners meet every day, so engagement is high. Research shows that teachers commonly use ads to grow multimodal literacy. The AHRC is an animated and age appropriate, translating a complex social concept into a clear, relatable imagery and wording. So, how do we build critical visual literacy? Because the ads are designed to persuade, their idea for building a text critic stance. Students learn to read verbal and visual signs together, including headlines, color palettes, framing, and pacing, and they ask what the text is trying to make them think, feel, or do. Scholars such as Asha argue that this stance is essential for persuasive multimodal texts. So evidence and curriculum links, they are found in VCA English code, where students are asked to analyze how structures and language features combine to influence audiences, or it focuses on citizens' rights and responsibilities and how laws relate to fairness. Five design elements. So before we analyze, let's adopt a simple lens made of five design elements that work together to shape meaning. The first is linguistics. Short, values-laden lines such as "that's not okay" anchor user message and signal stance. The second is visual. Faces and color shifts cue emotions and values with warmer and brighter tones when inclusion is modeled, and cooler or duller tones when exclusion appears. The third is spatial. Framing and arrangement move our eyes from the problem to the solution, so the takeaway lands clearly. As we watch, I will briefly name which element is doing the work so students can use the same language in their notes. Two elements remain, and then we consider how they work together. The fourth is gestural. Bodies speak. Open stances, shared gaze, and wave signals belonging, while turned backs or crossed arms can signal bias. I often pause on a frame and ask what a gesture makes you think or feel. The fifth one is audio. Pace and tone persuades. A slower questioning voice, such as, "Did I do something racist?" invites reflection, while a firmer close, such as, "We all share the responsibility to stop racism," unifies action. When these five elements run together, words, images, layout, body language, and sound steer us toward a position. Teaching students to name each strand helps them explain how the PSA persuades and then craft ethical messages of their own. The references are on screen for later reading. It includes work by well known researchers and authors. Thank you very much for listening. By teaching students to name how linguistic, visual, spatial, gesture, and audio elements work together. We help them ask better questions.